What the fuck is up? Welcome back to the Myranda Mindset. I have a very special guest today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Dane, longtime listener to the Myranda Mindset. Also going to be a fifth year senior at Illinois State University. You can hear me on the radio on WZND.
Can I just preface this episode by saying last year in was it October? Was it a little earlier? I don't remember. We
Dude, it was
had
like, I
actually,
think it was literally Halloween.
yeah, we recorded an episode and then shit happened. You didn't like it. We had to make some edits. The audio was shit.
hmm
So we have fast forward all this time and we haven't even re-recorded until now. So a lot's changed since then. Do you want to give us a little bit of a recap?
I have a lot of, I don't want to say situationships, but like the other day I just met a girl and we're hopefully hanging out soon. And she has great taste in music. She's gorgeous. And I've met her before and she had a boyfriend at the time. I was like, fuck. But yeah, I'm hoping to hang out with her soon and we vibe. So that's really cool. Then there's also a bunch of other beautiful girls I know in my life. And it's like I'm gonna post this on literally like my Insta and like Snapchat, and they're gonna like literally like I guess put two and two together where it's
All
like
these girls are going to hope that they're the one. They're
I
going to
don't
be
I
like,
mean
is he talking about me? I hope it's me. Like,
it depends on if they listen. And like I don't know if that's like a confidence boost or if I can fuck myself because it's like I don't know if they're listening. I kind of hope they listen. I want everyone to listen. And they're going to be, I think people are generally interested enough in me because I'm just kind of a wacky and zany character is what I like to describe myself as. But with these girls, it's like I'm like also not locked down dating anyone as much as I'd like to be, especially with my sister's wedding coming up. And I'm like, I'd love a plus one. I'd love to bring someone finally home to mom and dad. Then I'm like, dude, she's hot as fuck. No, I'm just playing. But it's just like a cool girl and someone that's worth it.
first off, can we
mm,
just say there's nothing wrong with saying like, oh, I want somebody who's hot. Okay. I'm just going to go on this little rant, right?
mhm.
I am not a super shallow person, but looks are very important to me. Like, I can't be with somebody who I am not attracted to, right? And if I'm not somebody's cup of tea, that's fine. If they're not my cup of tea, that is totally fine. Like, everyone has a type, right? But I don't think that it's bad or morally wrong, or you're going to get canceled for saying that you want to date somebody hot. Like, if you want to say it, then say it. Like,
Well,
fuck
I
it.
think it's like what Ashton Kutcher says is like sexy and hot. Like it's like I'm not just talking about physical appearance. I'm a sucker for a good smile, great laugh, and a great sense of humor. Like I literally told one of my best friends, and I'm like, she could ruin my life, and I wouldn't give a fuck. Like I
What?
wouldn't care.
Why do guys say that? Like, she could ruin my life, because you don't mean it. Like, the minute that a
Oh, I
girl is
mean it.
on, no,
I
because
mean it.
if you do, then what the fuck does that even mean? Like, she can be like toxic. She can like how ruin your life? How ruin your
Well,
credit score?
I mean, in general, with like, what do I mean by running a life? You know, we talked about this a couple months ago in regards to the chase, and it was when I was really butthurt about just relationships and stuff. And I was like, guys don't like the chase. Like, we want to have stability and stuff. And it's like, in hindsight, I'm like, we fucking love the
I know
chase.
you and I got in an
We
argument.
love it.
You and I
It was
got in a
heated.
heated debate. Me and you like back
hmm
and forth, semi like shouting at each other of whether or not guys like the chase, and they do. And it's not in terms of like, oh, she's just like super rude, or oh, there's no chance of getting together. Like, not like that, but the sense of like, I'm pining or I'm really striving for
hmm
attention or for someone to like me. And then there's this reward system of, oh, she does like me back. Okay, my confidence
hmm
boost. Like, there's, and that's for anybody in dating, like, regardless of if you date a guy, girl, it doesn't matter. But it's that catch and play game of, oh my God, like, do you think they like me? I hope so. But do you really? It's funny to
hmm
see the other side where guys feel the same type of, what I call it, pressure. I don't know, but expectation maybe to like
hmm
be somebody who is suave and macho, but also be sensitive. Like, that's kind of a battle. And I wouldn't want to do it as a guy.
it's a really tough line to walk, but
I wouldn't
with
want to do
with
that.
it's really hard.
So
Yeah.
let's talk about guys' wallets, because you and I had a
Okay.
conversation in the fall
hmm
about every guy should have X, Y, and Z. What is that, and what does that entail?
Well, I'm gonna call myself out here because my wallet, like it's important to like just have like certain things. First of all, like got to go everywhere with like your insurance. Like your insurance cards are really important. You don't have to carry your social around. I personally don't. I keep that somewhere safe. But if you do, respect, and that wallet's your most important thing, literally. And then for me, money clip's fine. If you're using a trifold, I remember my first beer too. Get out of high school.
Oh my
Get out of
God,
high school.
Dane.
Yeah. No one wants bills that are folded 3 times. This isn't origami. Like, I don't know what you're expecting. I literally had a trifold. I had a trifold Chaps leather wallet at the same time that I had a Velcro plastic Hockey Hall of Fame trifold, and also a like fake leather Call of Duty MW3 wallet that I got with GameStop points. So, but we've matured. It's
All right.
not even a designer wallet. It was a $50 wallet. It's a leather Herschel wallet. Herschel is one of my favorite brands. I wish they'd sponsor me. It's a hat too, and it's one of my bags.
Okay, little haul moment.
But so it's your standard wallet. It's bifold, but you should have $40 because you never know when emergency is going to come. But you also don't want it to be too fat with stuff. Like clean out your wallet. Like, dude, Quiznos isn't a restaurant anymore. You can throw away the gift card.
Can you tell the audience who is not watching, like on YouTube, can you tell our listeners who your celebrity lookalike is? Can we talk about this?
Dude, it's changing all the time. Like, but Andy Samberg is like the one that's like slam dunk, like
number one.
But most recently, yesterday I got Charlie Puth, which I'm like, eh. But then I got twice in the same day Chris Evans.
No, I'm sorry.
I think it was the hair, and I was also wearing a tank, so my muscles were out. So that was probably it.
It's not Chris Evans. It is 100% Andy Samberg.
No, Andy Samberg is a demographic of women that would do anything for him.
If that's their type, yeah.
You're like, I mean, if you think so.
No, because like some girls, I would agree. Yes. However, for myself and girls that I know, maybe not. And that's fine. Like I said earlier, there's nothing wrong with that, for that not to be your type. Like my dad the other day, I don't know how he's going to feel listening to this later, but he made like a thirst trap. And
I'm aware. It worked. Let's just say that.
I roasted the shit out of him, and I was like, Dad, I needed a trigger warning on that. Like, I can't have that on my timeline. And he's like, too bad, so sad. Like, this is just what you have to deal with.
Your dad is what I'm gonna be when I'm like his age. Like,
that's scary.
No, it's not, because he's comfortable in his skin, and he's handsome, and he's got a great fan. Like he's goals.
My dad is goals, and he's allowed to do that. It's just like, I can't, there's a certain point where I have to turn the other cheek, and I'm blind to
it's just as parents. Like my mom says some out of pocket shit sometimes, and I'm like
my
no.
dad
like,
my dad is always out of pocket. My mom is out of pocket because she just likes to roast the shit out of me, like an unbelievable amount. Like if she can just light me to a crisp burnt, like just like
I refuse to think of my parents as sexual beings. I was born out of air. I was a Powerpuff Girl. Like they threw some hockey pucks in there. They threw some in there, stirred up some stand-up, some SNL from like the 70s and 80s. Bam, Dane. And then they were also like anxiety, depression. But
I literally, my dad and mom always make jokes like I'll hear them in the other room, and they're like telling each other, okay, I'm leaving for the day, goodbye. And like they kiss so loud I can hear it like 2 rooms away. And I'll always be like, ew, like you guys are all walk in and it's happening, and I'm like, oh my God. And I kind of get like, it's not that they're not allowed to be, because damn straight I'm like, I'll probably still have sex till I'm like 75, but like there's a certain point that I adult and I'm like, oh fuck, like I gotta pretend this doesn't exist. This isn't an aspect in your life. Like,
it's like the real life sex scene that like happens like when you're watching. Like I remember like as like a 13-year-old like watching, like I'd literally leave the room whenever there was a sex scene. Like I wouldn't even make eye contact with my parents. I'd get up and be like, I've got something better to do than feel like this.
I automatically pull out my phone, and my dad always skips the sex scenes because he's always like, well, it doesn't really further the plot. But like if it alludes to sex and they make out and then it shows the next day, like that's fine. But if there's like a 5-minute sex scene, my dad like just fast forward through it, and then all of us are silent and we're all just like waiting for it to be over. It's just so, it's not awkward.
Sometimes my parents will watch like Riverdale and they always include this cringiest like sex scenes. And like I struggle not to burst out laughing when they come on at this point because I'm like, that's so ow.
That's what I
I'm
do.
like, yeah.
When it gets to like a 30-second sex scene to where it's not long enough to where you need to skip, but it's still long enough to where like I can make about 4 or 5 like jokes about it. And I'm like, oh, why are they kissing like that? Like it's just weird. And like I'd rather not have this dynamic. Like
Just got a Tinder match. Should we
look at it? Look at it. Me and Dane like to do this thing where he shares his screen while he's on Tinder, and I say swipe left or swipe right, and like granted,
you don't get to see it. It's a number. It was a numbers one for. It was definitely one at like 2 a.m. where I was just going crazy.
And you weren't proud of that one.
No, it got unmatched instantly. I'm not only excited for this to hit like the air and stuff because it's kind of my first like thing that I'm like putting out there, especially as a guest. Like this could be bookmarked as like, oh my god, this was his first thing ever, and it was on like could be like your podcast, which it probably won't be. It'll probably just be like, oh, this is one of the OG Miranda Huerta like content creations, and then when you're like fucking like one of Forbes like top 500 people
podcast or something,
some shit like that.
Flash forward, it's like if Ellen was still a thing and they're like, so Dane, we've got this little clip of you that you might forget about doing, and it's you talking about your Tinder matches.
I just want to know because I'm gonna like share it on all my socials. And one, I can't let it get back to my parents. Like that's number one. Number two is I can't let it get to my sister. Her fiance can listen. I don't give a shit. 3, my therapist.
Why can't your sister listen to it?
She's a narc. Nah, she's cool. I don't know if she'd support my lifestyle. No, I don't know. I just don't want her to listen to it. It's weird. It's like one of those things where it's like there's 3 people on the planet Earth that just aren't sexual beings, and that's my sister, my mom, and my dad.
That's not fair to your sister. If you're Dane's sister and you're listening to this podcast, girl, fuck all you want. Go have sex. Go do it anywhere, everywhere. I'm begging you. She is allowed. She has
a fiance.
I know. So as she should. So she is totally like, not that you're allowed or it's gross if you don't, but damn straight. Go for it, girl. Purr. So if you're Dane's sister, disregard that message. I'm overwriting that request. No, that's weird. I know my siblings. I mean, my older brothers who are like engaged and married, they have sex. So like, I can't not see them as sexual beings, but is that hypocritical because they're guys?
No, it's different. It's different because it's like, I don't know. Like if I had a brother, I'd high five. Like he'd be in. He'd know.
So get out of here, Dane. Your sister is a sexual woman. Get over it.
I'll wait to share it on my socials when I go to school. So they just don't. That's
fine.
Like you can tag me in it. Don't care. But like, I'll wait until I get to school, post it. And then they can be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'll be like, listen, dude.
Good times. Well, literally. Okay. Dane, this is where we get to the end of the podcast. Do you have any closing remarks? Anything you want to leave the people with today?
If you're listening, then first of all, you're an OG when this bitch blows the fuck up.
Thank you.
If you want to follow me on Instagram, Dane_Dreyfus86, same on Twitter. Probably going to come out with some more personal content myself. If you want to add me on Snap, this could be a mistake, but Dane Gills86. If you get the follow back on Insta and want my Snap, you could do it through that. You get some funny content through my Snapchat, but you have to make the private kind of. Yeah. Otherwise, if you get the base level Snapchat, you're just getting sad music recommendations.
Yes, can confirm. If you want to, ladies, shoot your shot. That's what Dane's saying here. It's cryptic, but he's saying if you think he's hot and you want to see if he'd be down, just DM him on Instagram, and chances are you'll get a response.
Because I am hanging out with a gorgeous woman on Tuesday. I'm hanging out with a gorgeous woman on Tuesday, and she is.
Don't cock block yourself, Dane.
I'm not. I'm just saying you might have missed. You might not have.
But Tuesday may come and go, and all these girls are listening to this podcast, and they're like, "Damn, is it too late?" The door is open.
Shoot. If they're gonna shoot, yeah.
No,
I think that's probably a good place. it's a good stopping point for chapter 2, which probably comes in like a couple months, and hopefully maybe the next time could be in person. That would be
Yeah.
electric. That
Yeah.
would be great.
Plot twist, you're like engaged in the next episode. And
I'm
I'm
a
like,
dad. I'm a
no,
dad in the
do
next
not wish
episode.
that upon yourself, Dane. Do not put that out there in the universe. You don't want a kid right now. You don't.
What if I had dad? I mean, I get a corgi and name him Dane Jr., and that would be fucking adorable.
That's fine. Get a dog, but do not put that in the universe to manifest. You're gonna watch this video back and be like, fuck. Don't do
Shit,
that.
should have wore the condom.
Oh my God, Dane. I'm so happy that you've joined me. Thank you so much. It means a lot that you'd be willing, not only for the first time for me to trash the episode, but coming back for the sequel. So I appreciate it.